Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we are starting my Summerween vlog. It is actually already the second day of Summerween because what did I do on the 15th?
Rewatch season 4 of Stranger Things.
I don't know what it is. I'm in a rut. I'm hyper fixating. Like all I can do is focus on Stranger Things. I'm like in the Stranger Things loop and I cannot get out.
I am stuck in the upside down. Vecna has gotten a hold of me.
Like when I tell you guys I'm addicted, I am not kidding. So I'm ready to turn it on for day 2 and start on my TBR. We're also in the midst of moving. Literally things are in shambles. There's just boxes behind me. Like the amount of just like dollies, boxes, just things that are stacked everywhere because we're moving and everything is literal chaos right now. So this vlog is going to be really chaotic as well, but I'm going to try to get some reading done for Summerween at the same time. Hopefully I actually read because I've been in a slump, but these are the books that I'm interested in. I do have a ton on my Kindle, on Kindle Unlimited, just like indie horror that I would like to get to, but physical reading definitely appeals to me more than my Kindle right now. Just like having a book in my hands, I want that. So here are the physical books that I have, and I'm planning on starting this one today. I Am Not Your Final Girl by Claire C. Holland. This is a horror-themed feminist poetry collection, and I want to read this for the slasher prompt because obviously there's a knife on the cover and we're going to be talking about slashers, and it's also the black-red Halloween color theme, which is also a prompt. I also have the audiobook for Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk out from my library so I can fit the prompt with the word haunt in it. One of these books I will be reading in the dark with my little, light. I have like a little book light. I got a sponsorship from them like a year or so ago. I'm still using it, so
Period.
But I've been talking to a lot of people on Instagram about the Grant County series. I still have one more book and I'm just dreading finishing it because I don't want it to be over. But people have been hyping up this book so much that I have to read it. So I might read Beyond Reach by Karen Slaughter in this video. I also might read The Fear by Natasha Preston, just because I know that this is something that I can get through fast and it will provide great content for the vlog. And I also have The Appeal by Janice Hallett because this is like multimedia vibe. Since I am in such a bad slump right now, I need things that I can be really interested in and that I can get through quick. So this is like my very loose Summerween TBR. I also have Kindle stuff though, so if I'm feeling that, I'm feeling that, but this is what we're working with. Right now, we're in the middle of packing more boxes. I'm trying to get the whole bedroom packed up today. We packed about half the living room and some of like the stuff in like drawers and on bookshelves, but y'all, it is taking us so long. We have so much shit and furniture is getting delivered in boxes every day, so that is my life. I might just put on an audiobook or like pack a box, read a couple poems, pack a box, read a couple poems. There's no plan. But I'll let you know when I read something. Yay for Summerween! I'm very excited. How's the packing going? How's the packing going?
What packing?
It's for the vlog. Hello, what packing? What we've been doing all day, you clown.
Oh, Toronto.
He's dead. He's dying. We need food. But look at everything we did. Oh my god. Nothing's on the walls. Nothing's on the walls. Nothing on the bookshelf. We still haven't done the closet or the bathroom or the kitchen, but we're making good progress. So we still have so much to go, but at least we're making progress. I'm going to eat some pokey and start the last final girl. The Last Final Girl, is that what it's called? I'm Not Your Final Girl. I read a book called Last Final Girl some time ago. Okay, vlog, goodbye. Hi vlog, I am halfway through the poems in I Am Not Your Final Girl and I'm really liking it. The structure is really, really cool. Each poem is named after a final girl. So there are spoilers, I guess, in here for horror movies, but it's all like really classic horror movies. So even the ones I haven't watched, I don't feel weird about getting spoiled for who the final girl is. I feel like it's pretty predictable anyway, so whatever. But the structure is really cool because each poem is named after a final girl, and then underneath it will say the movie they're from and the year that it came out, and then have a little poem just about their survival story or their story. So the ones where I've watched the movie that corresponds with it are obviously better for me. Like they hit a little bit harder. I understand it a little bit more than the ones that I'm like,
Okay, I get what you're trying to say, but you like, I don't really get the references exactly, you know, because I haven't seen the movies.
I would say probably about half of them would get 5 stars from me because I've seen the movies for about half of them, and the ones that I've seen I really, really like. I really resonate with the poems. I think the writing style is really, really cool because it has like that very, I was gonna say poetic, obviously they're poems, but it is very like lyrical style of poetry, and they're very like stilted verses almost, kind of like Rupi Kaur vibes. And I know she gets clowned on a lot, but I do like her. So if you like her, but you're more of like an edgy horror girly, I would definitely recommend this to you because the darkness and the depth in Rupi's poems is very like real and tangible. And in here, it's more like gory horror movie vibes. There's a little bit of that like horror movie nostalgia, and all of the gore and guts and like movie tropes are used as a metaphor for what she's actually talking about. I like that. She doesn't have to like say it and be really graphic with like the metaphors, but the gore is graphic. So, you know, I think this is for a specific type of person, and I'm that type of person. So I'm gonna read the other half and come back with a final rating. All right, girls, I have finished I'm Not Your Final Girl. And honestly, I liked the first half better than the latter half of the poems. The last 2 sections were more like about transformation and like deeper themes of being a final girl, and I don't know, I just didn't connect with it as much. I feel like there were more movies that were like deep cuts than classics. So I hadn't seen a lot of them, and I didn't get a few of the references. I'd really like to go back and watch the movies that I haven't watched in here and then reread the poems. I think that would be a better way to read this book than just, you know, consuming the poems in one sitting. But I really liked them. I obviously really liked the themes. I also really liked the introduction at the very beginning. If you want to read it, you can pause it now because I just think it is really well written. And this came out in 2017, so right after the 2016 election, and there's some commentary on that, relevancy to like the Me Too movement and things like that. Just kind of like fighting back vibes. I am not your final girl. I am not this like pretty picture for you to look at the end of the massacre. I will do the massacre myself kind of vibes. Very empowering, and if you're a horror lover like me, I think you will resonate with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4 stars because there was nothing that I can really complain about, but I didn't connect with every single poem. that's usually how poetry collections go for me, unless I really hate them. So 4 stars and first book of Summerween complete. My next book that I'm gonna pick up for Summerween is The Fear by Natasha Preston. I know. I hate Natasha Preston. I've given every single one of her books between 3 and 1 star. Like, I don't think I've ever given any of her books above 3 star. I don't like her. She's a YA thriller writer, but like, I don't know what it is. Her premises always sound so good. Like, nothing sounds better than her premises, but the execution is just so bad always. I don't know why I keep going back and having hope that it's gonna be different this time, but maybe this will be the one.
I don't think so, but we'll see.
The premise is there's like this thing going around, like this meme going around high school about your biggest fear, and everybody's supposed to like say their biggest fear. And then all of a sudden kids start turning up dead, and their cause of death has to do with what they said their biggest fear was. So that is very interesting to me. I like the killer that like plays on the psychology. I don't know. I'm gonna get into it and I'll give y'all the tea. And even if I hate it, you know, this is good content for y'all. You get to get a rant review. Don't we love that? Hello guys, it is the next day. I actually did not start The Fear because your girl got on TikTok, and when my whole feed is this, like, what is a girl to do? You know what I mean? So I'm about to head out the door to go get coffee with one of my friends before church, and we're just gonna have a little kiki, go to church, listen to some wisdom, and then when I come back, we're doing my 10K celebration sprints. I'm so excited, and I'll get to read my Summerween TBR with Olivia and Gabby because they're coming to the sprints, and yeah, it'll just be a little Summerween 10K celebration. So excited. See you later. Hello, it's the vlog. We're on Sprint, Summerween 10K. Hell yeah, fuck yeah, goodbye. Hello vlog, I'm 50 pages into The Fear on sprints. Same old annoying ass Natasha Preston writing style, but I have to say, I do like this premise a lot. I'm speeding through it, like we did a 30-minute sprint and I read 50 pages, if that tells you anything, so it's going okay so far. I'm gonna get back to the besties.
Like little shit, you know?
Why is she filming us?
Everything good comes from Wing Street. Insomnia cookies, yummalicious. Taking a reading break to feast. Hello, Summerween vlog. I am a third of the way through The Fear. We are obviously still on 10-hour sprints, and honestly, it's kind of fast paced. It's kind of moving along. I keep describing it in the sprints and like to my friends as Riverdale. Like, if you like Riverdale, you will love this book. It is so just like high school drama, but somehow the high schoolers get caught up in a murder. Like, it's so not serious, but it's also really easy to read. The writing style is kind of annoying, but that's just Natasha, you know what I mean? It's good old Natasha. She has jokes that don't land, and the wording is cringe, like 2015 cringe. Also, do not like the way therapists are portrayed in this book. Like, every time this angsty teen leaves her therapist, she's like,
She's probably writing 2 notebooks full of commentary about me and how mentally ill I am.
and I'm like, that just is not what we do. So that kind of pissed me off, but it's not horrible. It's really not as bad as other books that I've read by Natasha Preston, but it's not great. Once the reveals start kicking in, I will give you the real tea. Now back to sprints. Hello vlog. I have wine now since we're in the latter half of sprints. Did I just spill? No. Okay, we're good. I am a little over halfway through The Fear. The one thing I am actually enjoying about this book is the killer's perspective. We're really following our main character, Izzy, who is just a high school student, but we're also following the killer. And every chapter, so often that we get from him, it's like I feel like detective vibes, you know? I'm trying to always pick out like where he's at, what he's doing, if he's even a he, like I just need to know. And I feel like I haven't felt this way with a Natasha Preston book where I've actually been like interested. Of course, all the high school drama and all that is just boring and pointless, but it's so easy to read and get through that I'm not actually mad about it. I do not know who this killer is. Will Natasha break her streak of being literally horrible? Stay tuned. Hello, vlog. We are only 45 minutes until we're done with sprints. We've been sprinting for 9 hours and 15 minutes, which I can't believe. Look, I have sweet little doggies curled up with me. Literally no books on my bookshelf. Wow, it's just chaos vibes over here. But I did get to the probably like 70% mark of the fear, and it's just kind of one note, you know. The stakes don't feel that high. It is not that interesting because it's just high school drama that I don't care about. It is a lot of just like murders happening, but I was really excited to see like how the murder connected to the fear, and that is actually surprisingly not a big part of the plot, even though it's like called the fear. That tie-in isn't too good in my opinion. So yeah, that's a little bit disappointing, but overall it's not horrid. The only thing that's really putting me off is, I know I said this every update, but the writing style. Like, even just some of the phrases that have been used are so weird. Like, they were turning the heat up, and the phrase that was used is,
I need to whack up the heat.
what editor wouldn't catch that? I need to whack up the heat? Whack up the heat. That just doesn't make any sense. I need to turn the heat up.
I kick the stick into D.
No, I'm sorry, you don't kick the stick into D, you put the car in drive. What the hell? I only have 100 pages left in this book, thank God. I'm gonna speed on through it and give you my final review. We reached 10 hours officially, period. Hello vlog, it is 3:30 in the morning. I know what you're thinking. Weren't your sprints supposed to only be 10 hours? Yeah, but listen, we had the best group of people. I genuinely love the people that were on the live show so much. We had such a good little group, especially at the end. Oh my gosh, it was so nice. We ended the live show at 11 hours and we stayed on for 4 more hours, 4.5 more hours, just kikiing and talking privately. It was so nice. It reminded me of like old booktube days, and I'm just so happy. It was such a good time, but I did not read this fucking book. I did not finish it, so I guess I'm gonna finish that hoe tomorrow. But yeah, I just wanted to update and say it's 3:30, so if my first update tomorrow is in the afternoon, you know why, and I don't want to hear any comments about it. Feeling very booktube blessed. Hello, vloggy vlog. Remember when I said don't at me if my update tomorrow is at 5 p.m? Well, guess what? It's 5 p.m. I slept so late until like 11, and then I had to actually get up and like do work and like do things, and as soon as I was done, I finished at like 3. Boom, she was asleep. She was done. So I slept for another 2 hours, but the good part is in between things, like I was on hold for so long for just like calls that I need to make for work. So I did end up finishing like those last 60 pages or so that I had of the fear. And y'all, Natasha has done it again. And by done it again, I mean, this is another 2-star book. Okay, I'm sorry if I look disheveled. I don't know what happened. I literally just had like a sneezing fit and I
Sneezed?
whatever. There was a sneeze that occurred in my body like 20 times. I'm not even kidding. I was literally down bad. I will enter some footage because I was in fact still recording. Anyway, as I was saying, this is a 2-star book. Honestly, I didn't mind this one. It wasn't as grossly offensive as a few of her other books on like the writing style front, the boring plot front, and the laziness front. Like this actually felt like, you know, Riverdale. So it's not a book that's like good, but it's also not like horrid until we get to the end. And like, I know what Miss Girl was trying to do here. She gave us 3 people who could have been the murderer. And she was tricking us the whole entire book to like fool us. So we didn't know which one of the 3 red herrings was the person, was the killer. And the whole time I was like,
Of course it's not going to be any of those 3. Do you think I'm stupid, Natasha?
well, what do you think ended up happening? It was one of those 3, because it's just not creative. Like this whole book, I want to describe it as low-hanging fruit. Like this is just the lowest hanging fruit, and it's so disappointing because the premises of her books, like I always say, they sound so good. They're so creative. Like genuinely, it sounds wonderful, like something super exciting that I would want to read. And even if it's not super gory and super descriptive, it's YA. I know I'm not going to get that, but at least could you give me a plot with some substance? You know what I mean? There was just nothing. It was giving nothing. Also, we need to talk about the end of her books. On the live, somebody was like, isn't Natasha Preston known for her cliffhanger endings? Yes, she is. But how do y'all define a cliffhanger? Because to me, when I think of cliffhanger, I think of, okay, the story is pretty much resolved, and then one little cliff is hanging. One little plot point is just like hanging on the cliff. Like we're not quite sure. Like we kind of know, but it's like, you know, like I feel like a lot of popular thrillers end on a cliffhanger where it's like, we know what's happening. It's just that last line, that like last sinister sentence, like, they might not be safe after all. And I feel like that is not what Natasha Preston does. She just gives us no closure whatsoever. And I don't like that type of cliffhanger. So why do I keep doing this to myself? I don't know. I don't know why this woman has me in a chokehold and I keep buying every single book she writes. Her premise just sounds so good. And I want to let you know when she finally writes a good book. But this one's definitely a 2-star because that last reveal was just so stupid. It worked against the theme of the entire book. Like, it was just so bad. It was bad. And also, I realized, because I was reading, I was like, Natasha, who are you? Who is this woman that is writing these books? It says she lives with her family in England. England. I think that's why the writing style is so odd to me, a little American girl, because she's trying so hard to write, it feels like with an American accent, and it just doesn't translate well. It's literally the only way I can describe how weird it is like an English person who doesn't have a great American accent trying to talk in a great American accent. Like, it's literally me when I try to do my Essex girl accent. I don't know what that was. That was Australian. Like, see, I'm not good at it. She is also not good at this American shit. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't sound like how American teenagers would talk. So I feel like that is something that could definitely contribute to the writing style. But either way, she's a 2-star queen. I think the last book that I'm going to include in part 1 of my Summerween vlogs, I'm not sure how many there will be, but this is where we're gonna end it for the first one, is with Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. I have the audio and I need to pack the rest of our apartment. As you can see, we still have a lot of tubs and a lot of things to go through. So I'm gonna start the audio while I am listening to that. I have literally no idea what it's about. I'm just picking it up to fulfill the haunt prompt for Summerween. There's also a prompt about like baking something. Well, I'm moving, I'm stressed. I'm not about to dirty my kitchen baking something, but yesterday I did get insomnia cookies. So I figured I would do a little taste test for you to let you know how they are and to fulfill the baked good prompt. Mochi, you are gonna kill yourself. This is chocolate. So I'm just gonna rip off a little corner and taste for you guys. Why is there already a mochi hair on it? I don't know how that happened, but this is the double chocolate.
Oh, she's soft.
Oh yeah, this is good. If you like a chocolate on chocolate, like chocolate cookie, chocolate chips, the texture of their cookies is like soft. Okay, now we're trying Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And this is a peanut butter cookie, excuse me. This is a peanut butter cookie with chunks of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups in it. Duh. We knew it would be good. We knew. Next up we have triple chocolate chunk. So this is one of their like extreme, supreme, whatever cookies. And it has chocolate chunks, chocolate chips, and mini chips? I don't know, something. 3 different types of chocolate, basically. Insomnia is for the chocolate-loving girls. And that is me. I also have s'more, which, if y'all know me, you know, s'mores are my favorite dessert. S'more flavored things, oh my god, I would literally die for them. I just feel like it's so nostalgic. Chocolate, marshmallow, and a little bit of salty graham cracker, like that is the ultimate flavor combination. If there's any s'more dessert anywhere, I'm getting it. So I'm predicting this is gonna be my favorite. Immediately yes. Oh, immediately yes. I don't know if you can see that. There are like layers of graham cracker and marshmallow like within, and there's chocolate chips. Oh yeah, that's a masterpiece. Easily the best one. I have officially almost completed all the prompts. I'm gonna be reading in the dark because it's about to be dark in a couple hours. And I'm about to read the book with the haunt prompt. So vlog 1, we already finished the prompts. What's up? Ain't that right, babes? All right, let's get into the book and pack this damn house. I don't know why I keep going Australian. What's wrong with me? Hello vlog, I have been tackling the issue of my clothes and my makeup. As you can see behind me, this massive pile of clothes. But while I've been packing and going through things, just organizing, I got a little over a third of the way, like 35% of the way through Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. And I literally don't know how to describe this book. At times, it is simply noise. Like, it just makes zero sense at some points. I feel like the most accurate synopsis I can give is just weird, uncomfortable vignettes of weird people. That is what this book is. It starts out introducing this, like, troupe of people is the best way I can describe it. I can't tell if they're, like, theater people. They kind of are because they're putting on this production, this show, and they're all just like different people, and they have these aliases, like different names that describe who they are. And it kind of reminded me of like D&D names a little bit, like in Stranger Things, how in the game like Will is like Will the Wise and he's a wizard and he has all these things about him, and like Eddie is Vecna, like all of these things. Like these people are real people, but they have this persona. So each chapter follows a story, and then every other chapter is like a little vignette that is kind of like a metaphor that describes who this character is. And I feel like the weirdness is kind of normal for Mr. Chucky, but this is not hitting in the way that Invisible Monsters hit. Some of it is just gross and uncomfortable. Like there's like weird body horror that I don't like. So I don't know, I'm not loving this, but it definitely has something to say. I just don't know if I like what it's necessarily saying. Some parts are really funny, some parts are kind of interesting, but sometimes it is simply noise. So I'm going to take a break from packing, eat my sushi, and I will be back with another update soon. Hello vlog, it is currently 1:30 in the morning and I just finished packing the entire bathroom and my entire side of the closet, which took forever, you know, just going through all the shoes and the clothes and the things, but feels good to clean out. So I'm done with that, and along the way I got to about 70% in Haunted, and I feel like I'm understanding it a little bit more now. It's not just like a group, like a theater troupe. It's more like a reality show. Like, all these people did not know each other previously, and they got thrown together for this show. And it's kind of like a survival of the fittest type situation with all of these quirky people. It honestly kind of reminds me of Survivor. I feel like if you're a fan of that show, you will like this book. But you also have to like really, really weird stuff, because it is really weird. There have been a couple chapters that I really, really enjoyed. There was one about a chef who like was raving about these chef knives, but he was also a murderer, and he like killed the food critics that gave him bad reviews with these amazing chef knives. Like, it was just so ironic and funny. And then there was also a really hard-hitting one right at the 2/3 of the way mark, where it was like this women's group, and they were like touting themselves as very welcoming and inclusive and like supportive for women, and then a trans woman wanted to join the group, and they immediately turned on her and like picked her apart. And it was like great commentary on just like white cis feminism, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was really disturbing and really graphic, but it was great. And the fact that this is coming from a man, like that is written by a man, I don't know, kind of weird, but I'm impressed. Good job, Chuck. So that is kind of where I'm at with Haunted. I will probably finish it in the morning. I just have like that last 30% left before I go to my sessions, and yeah, I will see you then. Hello vlog, it is the next morning. I actually just got back from my sessions, so I'm a little disheveled, but I did end up finishing Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. Just now when I got home, I was listening to it on my drive in between sessions, and it's done. Honestly, I have to say a lot of it did go right over my head. Like, Mr. Chuck had a lot to say, and I don't know if I was the girl to say it to, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like the stories that I did connect with, I really, really liked, but a lot of like the little vignettes and stories were just like weirdness. I did not get the metaphor if there was supposed to be one. Some of it felt like a little bit of that pretentious crap that's like selling itself as something greater, which y'all know I hate. So I don't know, I'm just like very in the middle, but gosh, the stories that were good were really, really good. And the message at the end was like, kind of like we live in a society vibes, which sometimes I like it, sometimes I hate it. I don't know, it was very much giving One's speech in Stranger Things, where he's like,
We live, we work, we die.
like, it was kind of existential in that way. I don't know. It was okay. I think if you like the sound of what I'm describing, you will really, really like it, especially if you go in with those expectations. I went in with 0 because I had no idea what the book was about, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it 3 stars. I don't think it was a bad book. It just wasn't the most fun time ever. So I feel like a 3-star is very reasonable. We had a 3, a 2, and a 4 in this video. Hopefully the rest of Summerween starts looking up and we get some 5-star reads. I do have some very highly anticipated books coming up, so make sure to watch the next vlog. But for now, this is going to be the end of my Summerween vlog part 1. The next part will be up either the day of or the day after Summerween ends, so the 21st or the 22nd. Be on the lookout for that, and thank you so much for watching this vlog, even though it was chaos and I'm moving and all of this stuff. Thank you guys if you made it to this point. Don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!